Conversation 1. Family breakfast.
Listen and practice.
John, do you often have breakfast with your family?
Yes, we try to eat together every morning. It's a nice way to start the day. How about your family?
We do the same. What do you usually prepare for breakfast?
We keep it simple, usually cereal, toast, and fruit. What about at your house?
We like to mix it up. Sometimes it's pancakes, other days it's oatmeal or eggs. The kids love variety.
That sounds delicious. Do you all help with the preparation?
Yes, everyone has a job. The kids set the table and my partner and I cook. How do you manage it?
That's a great system. We're not as organized, but I think we'll try assigning tasks like you do.
Conversation 2. Phone call.
Listen and practice.
John, how do you feel about making phone calls?
Honestly, I prefer texting, but sometimes calls are necessary. What about you, Lisa?
I actually enjoy phone calls. I find them more personal. Do you have any tips for making calls less stressful?
I try to prepare what I want to say beforehand. It helps me feel more confident. Any other advice?
That's a good tip. I also find it helpful to smile while talking. It changes your tone of voice.
I've heard that before. Do you have any strategies for ending calls politely?
I usually summarize the conversation and confirm any action items. Then I thank them for their time.
Those are great suggestions. I'll try to incorporate them in my next phone call.
Conversation 3. Morning routine.
Listen and practice.
Good morning, John. What time do you usually wake up?
I usually wake up at 6:30 a.m. How about you, Lisa?
I'm an early bird. I get up at 5:45 a.m. to do some yoga before work.
Wow, that's early. What else is part of your morning routine?
After yoga, I take a quick shower and get dressed. Then I make a healthy breakfast. You?
I just grab a coffee and check my emails before heading out. Maybe I should try your approach.
It works well for me. Do you have any morning habits you'd like to change?
Actually, I'd like to start exercising in the morning. Maybe I'll try that tomorrow.
Conversation 4. Talking with kids.
Listen and practice.
Lisa, how do you usually start conversations with your kids?
I like to ask them about their plans for the day. What's your approach, John?
I usually ask them what they're looking forward to. It helps set a positive tone. Do your kids talk easily?
Most of the time, yes. But sometimes it's challenging. How do you handle it when they're not talkative?
I try to share something about my day first. It often encourages them to open up. Any other strategies you use?
That's a good idea. I also find that doing an activity together, like cooking, can lead to good conversations.
I'll have to try that. How do you handle serious topics with your kids?
I try to create a judgment-free zone and listen more than I talk. It seems to work well.
Conversation 5. Asking for help.
Listen and practice.
I'm struggling with this report. Do you have a moment to help me?
Of course. What part are you having trouble with?
I'm not sure how to structure the data analysis section. Any suggestions?
I'd start with an overview, then break it down by key metrics. Want me to show you an example?
That would be really helpful. Do you mind if I take notes?
Not at all. It's always good to have a reference. Any other parts you're unsure about?
The conclusion is giving me trouble too. How do you usually approach it?
I summarize the main findings and their implications. Let's work on that after the analysis section.
Conversation 6. Offering help.
Listen and practice.
You look stressed. Is everything okay?
I'm a bit overwhelmed with this project. There's so much to do.
I've been through similar situations. Would you like some help?
That would be great. Are you sure you have the time?
I can definitely spare some time. What's the most pressing task?
The client presentation is due tomorrow, and I'm nowhere near finished.
Let's tackle it together. We can divide the work. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect. Thank you so much for offering to help.
Conversation 7. Expressing opinions.
Listen and practice.
What do you think about the new company policy?
I think it's a step in the right direction. How about you?
I'm not so sure. Seems a bit restrictive to me.
Interesting. What aspects do you find restrictive?
The new working hours mainly. Don't you think they're inflexible?
I see your point, but I appreciate the structure it provides.
I hadn't thought about it that way. Are there other parts you like?
Yes, the increased vacation days are a big plus for me.
Conversation 8. Agreeing and disagreeing.
Listen and practice.
Don't you agree that climate change is the biggest threat we face?
While it's serious, I think there are other equally pressing issues.
Really? Like what? I can't think of anything more urgent.
Poverty and inequality, for instance. They affect millions daily.
I see your point, but climate change impacts everyone, rich or poor.
True, but solving inequality could help us address climate change too.
I hadn't considered that connection. How do you think they're related?
People in poverty often can't prioritize environmental concerns. It's all connected.
Conversation 9. Favorite foods.
Listen and practice.
What's your all-time favorite food?
I love a good pizza. Nothing beats it for me. How about you?
I'm a sushi enthusiast. Do you like Japanese food?
I haven't tried much beyond sushi. Any recommendations?
You should try ramen or tempura. They're delicious. What's your favorite pizza topping?
I'm a classic margarita fan. Simple but perfect. Do you cook Japanese food at home?
I've tried making sushi rolls. It's fun but tricky. Do you make your own pizza?
Sometimes. It's a fun weekend activity. We should have a cooking day sometime.
Conversation 10. Lunch order.
Listen and practice.
It's almost lunchtime. Any ideas for today?
I'm thinking of ordering from that new Thai place. Interested in joining?
Sounds great. What dish are you planning to get?
I'm leaning towards pad Thai. Have you tried it before?
Yes, it's delicious. I might go for the green curry. Should we ask others to join?
Good idea. Let's see if Mark and Emily want to order too.
I'll message them. Do we need to order drinks as well?
Let's check with them. I'll probably just stick with water.
Conversation 11. Workplace meeting.
Listen and practice.
Have you prepared for today's meeting?
Yes, I've got my presentation ready. How about you?
I've reviewed the agenda and made some notes. Are you nervous about presenting?
A little. It's a big project. Do you have any tips for staying calm?
Take deep breaths and remember you know your material. Want to practice together?
That would be great. Should we go over the main points now?
Sure. Let's start with the project overview. What's your opening line?
I'm planning to start with our key objectives. Does that sound good?
Conversation 12. Project discussion.
Listen and practice.
How's the new project coming along?
It's challenging, but we're making progress. What about your part?
I'm on track, but I've hit a small obstacle with the data analysis.
Can I help with that? What seems to be the problem?
The results are inconsistent. I'm not sure if it's a software issue or human error.
Let's take a look together. Maybe a fresh pair of eyes will help.
That would be great. When are you free to go over it?
How about tomorrow afternoon? We can book a meeting room.
Conversation 13. Coffee break.
Listen and practice.
Ready for a coffee break?
Definitely. I could use a caffeine boost. Where should we go?
How about the new cafe down the street? I heard they have great pastries.
Sounds perfect. Do you usually take sugar in your coffee?
Just a splash of milk for me. What's your usual order?
I like a strong black coffee. Sometimes an espresso if I need an extra kick.
Nice. Shall we invite anyone else from the team?
Good idea. Let's ask Sarah and Mike if they want to join us.
Conversation 14. Doctor's visit.
Listen and practice.
I have a doctor's appointment next week. Do you have any advice?
Try to write down your symptoms and questions beforehand. It helps a lot.
That's a good idea. Do you get nervous at doctor visits?
A little. I find deep breathing helps. What are you going for if you don't mind me asking?
Just a routine checkup. But I always worry they'll find something wrong.
I understand. Remember, regular checkups help catch issues early.
You're right. Do you go for regular checkups too?
Yes, I try to go annually. It's important for maintaining good health.
Conversation 15. Making appointments.
Listen and practice.
I need to schedule several appointments this week. Any tips for staying organized?
I use a digital calendar and set reminders. How do you usually keep track?
I've been using a paper planner, but I often forget to check it. Maybe I should try digital.
It's been a game changer for me. Do you have any specific appointments you're dreading?
Dentist appointment. I always get anxious about those. How about you?
I'm not a fan of the dentist either. I try to book it first thing in the morning to get it over with.
That's smart. Do you have any strategies for remembering to confirm appointments?
I set 2 reminders, one the day before and another the morning of the appointment.
Conversation 16. Health and fitness.
Listen and practice.
Have you been keeping up with your fitness routine lately?
I've been trying to go to the gym 3 times a week. How about you?
I've started yoga classes. It's challenging, but I enjoy it. What do you do at the gym?
Mainly weightlifting and some cardio. How often do you do yoga?
I go to classes twice a week. Do you have any fitness goals you're working towards?
I'm trying to improve my overall strength. What about you?
I'm focusing on flexibility and stress reduction. Have you ever tried yoga?
Not yet, but after hearing about your experience, I might give it a try.
Conversation 17. Personal challenges.
Listen and practice.
What's been your biggest personal challenge recently?
Balancing work and personal life. I often find myself working late. You?
Mine is sticking to a regular sleep schedule. How are you addressing your challenge?
I'm trying to set stricter boundaries. Do you have any strategies for better sleep?
I'm using a sleep tracking app and avoiding screens before bed. Has it been hard to set boundaries?
Yes, especially with urgent projects. How has the sleep app been working for you?
It's helping, but it's a slow process. Have you considered talking to your manager about workload?
That's a good suggestion. I think I'll bring it up in our next one-on-one meeting.
Conversation 18. Day out planning.
Listen and practice.
What should we do for our day out this weekend?
How about hiking in the nearby national park?
That sounds fun. Should we pack a picnic lunch?
Great idea. I'll bring sandwiches if you can bring snacks and drinks.
Perfect. What time should we start to avoid the midday heat?
Let's aim to set out by 8 a.m. Is that too early for you?
Not at all. Should we invite anyone else to join us?
Good thought. Maybe we could ask Tom and Sarah if they're free?
Conversation 19. News discussion.
Listen and practice.
Did you hear about the new healthcare bill that just passed?
Yes, I did. It's quite controversial, isn't it? What's your take on it?
I'm concerned about how it might affect insurance costs. You?
I'm more focused on the potential improvements in coverage. Do you think it'll pass the Senate?
It's hard to say. The debate seems pretty heated. Have you read any good analysis of it?
I saw an interesting article in The Economist. Want me to send you the link?
That would be great. Do you generally trust their reporting?
Yes, I find they usually provide balanced coverage. What's your go-to news source?
Conversation 20. Weather chat.
Listen and practice.
This weather is unusually warm for this time of year, isn't it?
You're right. I can't remember a February this warm before.
Do you think it's due to climate change?
It's possible, but we shouldn't confuse weather with climate.
True. How do you think this will affect the spring plants?
They might bloom early. I hope we don't get a late frost.
That would be a shame. Are you planning any outdoor activities to enjoy the warmth?
I'm thinking about doing some early gardening. How about you?
Conversation 21. Sports talk.
Listen and practice.
Did you catch the game last night?
I missed it. How did our team do?
We won in overtime. It was so exciting.
That's great news. Who scored the winning point?
Johnson made an amazing three-pointer in the last second.
Wow, I wish I'd seen that. Is he having a good season overall?
He's been on fire lately. Do you think we have a shot at the championship?
If Johnson keeps playing like this, I'd say we have a good chance.
Conversation 22. Hobbies.
Listen and practice.
What do you like to do in your free time?
I'm really into photography. How about you?
That sounds interesting. I enjoy painting and drawing.
Cool. Do you have a favorite subject to paint?
I love landscapes. What do you like to photograph?
I'm fascinated by street photography, capturing candid moments.
That must be challenging. How do people react when they notice you?
It varies. Some don't mind, others are curious. It's part of the excitement.
Conversation 23. Clothes shopping.
Listen and practice.
I need to buy a new outfit for the company party. Any suggestions?
How about a classic black dress? They're always elegant.
True, but I was thinking of something more colorful. What do you think of red?
Red could be stunning. Have you considered accessories to go with it?
Not yet. What would you recommend with a red dress?
Perhaps some gold jewelry and black heels?
That sounds perfect. Where do you usually shop for formal wear?
I like that boutique downtown. Want to go shopping together this weekend?
Conversation 24. Compliments.
Listen and practice.
Your presentation today was really impressive.
Thank you. I was nervous, but I'm glad it went well.
The way you handled the Q&A was particularly good. How did you prepare?
I anticipated potential questions and practiced responses. I appreciate your kind words.
Well deserved. Your hard work really showed.
Thanks again. I noticed your report last week was excellent too.
That's very kind of you to say. It's nice to have our efforts recognized, isn't it?
Absolutely. Positive feedback can be really motivating.
Conversation 25. Date conversation.
Listen and practice.
So tell me about your family. Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have an older sister. How about you?
I'm an only child. What's it like having a sibling?
It's fun most of the time. We're quite close. Do you enjoy being an only child?
Mostly, yes. Though I sometimes wished for a brother or sister growing up.
I can understand that. What kind of activities did you enjoy as a child?
I loved reading and playing imaginary games. How about you and your sister?
We were always outside, climbing trees and riding bikes. Those were good times.
Conversation 26. Self-introduction.
Listen and practice.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm new to the company.
Nice to meet you, Lisa. I'm John. Welcome aboard.
Thanks, John. What department do you work in?
I'm in marketing. How about you? What's your role here?
I've joined the IT team as a software developer. How long have you been with the company?
I've been here for 3 years now. How are you finding it so far?
Everyone's been very welcoming. Is there anything I should know about the company culture?
We have a great team spirit here. Don't hesitate to ask if you need any help settling in.
Conversation 27. Restaurant order.
Listen and practice.
Have you decided what you're going to order?
I'm torn between the pasta and the steak. What about you?
I'm leaning towards the grilled salmon. Have you tried it here before?
Not yet, but I've heard good things about it. Should we get an appetizer?
That sounds good. How about the bruschetta to share?
Perfect. And what about drinks? Do you prefer red or white wine?
I usually go for white with fish. Do you have a favorite?
They have a nice Chardonnay here. Shall we get a bottle to share?
Conversation 28. Apologizing.
Listen and practice.
I'm sorry I missed our meeting yesterday.
It's okay. These things happen. Is everything all right?
Yes, I just completely lost track of time. It won't happen again.
I appreciate your apology. Was there something distracting you?
I was focused on finishing an urgent project. But that's no excuse.
I understand. Maybe we can reschedule for next week?
That would be great. Thank you for being so understanding.
No problem. We all have off days sometimes. Let's move forward.
Conversation 29. Accepting apology.
Listen and practice.
I feel terrible about forgetting your birthday. Can you forgive me?
Of course. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure? I know how much you value celebrating birthdays.
Really, it's fine. I appreciate you acknowledging it.
I'd like to make it up to you. How about dinner this weekend?
That sounds lovely. You don't have to, but I'd enjoy that.
Great. Is there any place in particular you'd like to go?
How about that new Italian place? I've been wanting to try it.
Conversation 30. Cooking together.
Listen and practice.
What shall we cook for dinner tonight?
How about trying that new pasta recipe we found?
Sounds good. Do we have all the ingredients?
I think so, but we might need to buy some fresh basil.
Okay, I can pick that up on my way home. What can you start preparing?
I'll begin by chopping the vegetables and boiling the water for pasta.
Perfect. I'll handle the sauce when I get back. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to our culinary creation.
Conversation 31. Evening routine.
Listen and practice.
What do you usually do to unwind in the evening?
I like to read a book or watch a bit of TV. How about you?
I usually go for a short walk to clear my head. Do you have a favorite genre to read?
I enjoy mystery novels. Have you read any good books lately?
I just finished a great science fiction novel. Want to borrow it?
Sure, that sounds interesting. Do you ever have trouble falling asleep?
Sometimes. I find having a cup of herbal tea helps. Any sleep tips?
I try to avoid screens an hour before bed. It seems to help me relax.
Conversation 32. Couples chat.
Listen and practice.
How was your day, honey?
It was pretty hectic. How about yours?
Mine was good, but I missed you. Want to plan a date night soon?
That's a great idea. What did you have in mind?
Maybe dinner and a movie this Saturday?
Sounds perfect. Should we try that new restaurant downtown?
I'd love that. Oh, and did you remember we have brunch with my parents on Sunday?
Yes, I've got it marked on the calendar. Looking forward to it.
Conversation 33. Family relationships.
Listen and practice.
How do you get along with your siblings?
Pretty well, though we have our moments. How about you?
I'm an only child, so it's just me. Do you ever wish you were an only child?
Sometimes, but I mostly enjoy having siblings. Do you ever wish you had brothers or sisters?
Occasionally, especially when I see close sibling relationships. What's the best part of having siblings?
Having built-in friends and support. Do you think being an only child shaped your personality?
Probably. I'm quite independent. How has having siblings influenced you?
It's taught me to compromise and share. I think it's made me more patient.
Conversation 34. Couple argument.
Listen and practice.
You forgot our anniversary again. How could you?
I'm sorry. I've been so busy with work. I didn't mean to forget.
That's no excuse. This day is important to me. Don't you care?
Of course I care. I feel terrible about forgetting. How can I make it up to you?
I don't know. This isn't the first time you've forgotten important dates.
You're right. I need to do better. What if we put reminders in both our calendars?
That's a start, but I need to feel like a priority in your life.
You are a priority. I'll prove it to you. Can we plan a special belated celebration?
Conversation 35. Suspecting infidelity.
Listen and practice.
You've been acting strange lately. Is there something you want to tell me?
What do you mean? Everything's fine. Why do you ask?
You've been working late a lot and you're always on your phone. Are you seeing someone else?
Of course not. How could you think that? I've just been busy with the new project.
Then why are you so secretive with your phone? You never let me see it anymore.
I'm not being secretive. I just value my privacy. Don't you trust me?
I want to, but your behavior is making it difficult. Can you understand why I'm worried?
I see your point. I'll try to be more open. Maybe we need to work on our communication.
Conversation 36. Making suggestions.
Listen and practice.
I think we should redecorate the living room. What do you think?
That could be nice. What did you have in mind?
Maybe a new color scheme and some modern furniture. Do you have any ideas?
How about a minimalist style? It could make the room feel bigger.
That's interesting. Could we incorporate some plants to add life to the space?
Great idea. We could also consider changing the lighting to create different moods.
I like that. Should we look at some home decor magazines for inspiration?
Sounds good. We could also visit some furniture stores this weekend to get ideas.
Conversation 37. Responding to suggestions.
Listen and practice.
What if we took a cooking class together?
That's an interesting idea. What kind of cuisine were you thinking?
Maybe Italian or Thai. Which would you prefer?
Italian sounds fun. When were you thinking of doing this?
How about next month? We could do it on Saturday evenings.
That could work. Do you know of any good cooking schools nearby?
I heard about one downtown that has great reviews. Shall I look into it?
Yes, please do. It sounds like a fun way to spend time together and learn something new.
Conversation 38. Party planning.
Listen and practice.
We need to start planning for the office Christmas party. Any ideas?
How about a winter wonderland theme? We could decorate with white and silver.
That sounds lovely. What about the venue? Should we book a restaurant or rent a hall?
A hall might give us more flexibility for decorations. What do you think about the food?
Good point. For food, how about a mix of traditional Christmas dishes and some vegetarian options?
Sounds perfect. Should we hire a DJ or have a live band for entertainment?
A DJ might be more versatile. We should also plan some party games to break the ice.
Great idea. Let's make a list of everything we need and start delegating tasks.
Conversation 39. Weekend plans.
Listen and practice.
Do you have any plans for this weekend?
Not yet. Do you want to do something together?
How about a day trip to the beach? The weather's supposed to be nice.
That sounds fun. Should we invite some friends to join us?
Good idea. Maybe we could have a small picnic there too?
I like that plan. I can prepare some sandwiches. What else should we bring?
Let's bring some games like frisbee or volleyball. And don't forget sunscreen.
Definitely. I'll pack a cooler with drinks. This is going to be a great day.
Conversation 40. Holiday activities.
Listen and practice.
Christmas is coming up. What holiday activities should we do this year?
How about going ice skating and seeing the holiday lights displayed downtown?
That sounds fun. Could we also bake Christmas cookies together?
Absolutely. We could invite some friends over for a cookie decorating party.
Great idea. Should we also plan a day for Christmas shopping?
Yes, we should. Maybe we can make a list of gifts we need to buy first?
Good thinking. Oh, and what about watching some classic Christmas movies?
Perfect. We can have a movie marathon with hot cocoa. This holiday season is going to be great.
Conversation 41. Travel stories.
Listen and practice.
Remember our trip to Italy last year? That was amazing.
It really was. What was your favorite part of the trip?
I loved exploring the ancient ruins in Rome. How about you?
For me, it was the delicious food in Florence. Do you remember that little trattoria?
Oh yes, the pasta there was incredible. We should try to recreate that dish at home.
Great idea. What other trips do you want to take in the future?
I've always wanted to visit Japan. The culture fascinates me. How about you?
Japan sounds wonderful. I'd love to see the northern lights in Norway someday.
Conversation 42. Sharing memories.
Listen and practice.
Do you remember our first date?
Of course. We went to that little coffee shop downtown.
Yes, and you spilled your latte all over yourself.
Oh no. Don't remind me. I was so embarrassed. But you were very understanding.
It was cute. I knew then that I wanted to see you again. Do you remember our first kiss?
How could I forget? It was under the stars at the park.
That was so romantic. We've come a long way since then, haven't we?
We certainly have. And I'm looking forward to making many more memories with you.
Conversation 43. Buying a house.
Listen and practice.
I think we're ready to start looking for a house to buy. What do you think?
I agree. Do you have any specific areas in mind?
I like the suburbs to the north. Good schools and lots of green spaces. You?
That sounds nice. I'd also consider the east side. It's closer to work for both of us.
Good point. What features are most important to you in a house?
I'd love a big kitchen and a yard. How about you?
I want at least 3 bedrooms and a home office. Should we contact a real estate agent?
That's a good idea. Let's make a list of our must-haves and start looking this weekend.
Conversation 44. Hotel reservation.
Listen and practice.
Hello. I'd like to make a reservation for next weekend.
Certainly. How many nights will you be staying with us?
We're planning on 3 nights. Do you have any rooms with a king-size bed available?
Yes, we do. Would you prefer a city view or a park view?
Park view would be lovely. What's the rate for those rooms?
The rate is $200 per night. Would you like to proceed with the booking?
That sounds good. Is breakfast included in that rate?
Yes, breakfast is included. Can I have your name for the reservation?
Conversation 45. Airport check-in.
Listen and practice.
Good morning. I'm here to check in for my flight to New York.
Good morning. May I see your passport and booking confirmation, please?
Here you are. I'd like to request a window seat if possible.
Certainly. I'll see what's available. Do you have any bags to check?
Yes, I have one suitcase to check in.
All right, please place it on the scale. Your bag is within the weight limit. Here's your boarding pass.
Thank you. What time does boarding begin?
Boarding starts at 10:30 a.m. at gate 15. Have a good flight.
Conversation 46. Taking a taxi.
Listen and practice.
Taxi. Can you take us to the central station, please?
Sure thing. Hop in. Do you need help with your luggage?
Yes, please. We have 2 large suitcases.
No problem. I'll put them in the trunk. Are you catching a train?
Yes, we're taking the 3 p.m. train to Chicago. How long will the ride take?
With current traffic, about 30 minutes. We should get you there in plenty of time.
That's great. Is it okay if we pay by credit card?
Absolutely. I'll let you know when we arrive. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
Conversation 47. Expressing concern.
Listen and practice.
You don't look well. Are you feeling okay?
To be honest, I've been better. I think I might be coming down with something.
I'm sorry to hear that. Have you taken your temperature?
Not yet, but I've been feeling feverish and achy.
That doesn't sound good. Maybe you should see a doctor?
You're probably right. I'll try to get an appointment tomorrow.
Good idea. Is there anything I can do to help in the meantime?
Could you pick up some cold medicine for me? That would be really helpful.
Conversation 48. Giving advice.
Listen and practice.
I'm having trouble sleeping lately. Do you have any advice?
Have you tried establishing a regular bedtime routine?
Not really. What kind of routine do you suggest?
Try going to bed at the same time each night and avoid screens an hour before sleep.
That makes sense. Any other tips?
Avoid caffeine in the evening and maybe try some relaxation techniques like deep breathing.
Those are good ideas. Do you think I should see a doctor if it continues?
If it persists for more than a few weeks, it might be worth consulting a professional.
Conversation 49. Renting a car.
Listen and practice.
Hi, I'd like to rent a car for the weekend. What options do you have?
We have several options. Are you looking for a compact, mid-size, or SUV?
A midsize would be perfect. What's the daily rate?
The mid-size is $50 per day. Would you like to add insurance?
What does the insurance cover?
It covers damage to the car and theft. It's an additional $15 per day.
Okay, I'll take the insurance. Do I need to return it with a full tank?
Yes, please return it with a full tank. Now, can I see your driver's license?
Conversation 50. Visiting a lost and found.
Listen and practice.
Excuse me, I lost my wallet yesterday. Is this the lost and found?
Yes, it is. Can you describe your wallet, please?
It's a brown leather wallet with my initials, LM, on the front.
Let me check our records. When and where do you think you lost it?
I think I left it in the cafeteria around lunchtime yesterday.
I see. Can you tell me what was inside the wallet?
My driver's license, 2 credit cards, and about $50 in cash.
Good news. We have a wallet matching that description. Let me get it for you.
Conversation 51. Job interview.
Listen and practice.
Can you tell me about your experience in this field?
I've been working in marketing for 5 years, specializing in digital campaigns.
Interesting. What's your biggest professional achievement so far?
I increased our clients' online engagement by 200% in just 6 months. How does this role differ from my current position?
This role has more leadership responsibilities. How do you handle team management?
I believe in open communication and setting clear goals. Can you tell me more about the company culture?
We prioritize innovation and work-life balance. Do you have any other questions for me?
Yes. What opportunities for professional development do you offer?
Conversation 52. Office small talk.
Listen and practice.
How was your weekend?
It was great, thanks. I went hiking. How about yours?
I had a relaxing time, just caught up on some reading. Have you read any good books lately?
Not recently, but I'm looking for recommendations. Any suggestions?
I just finished a great mystery novel. I could lend it to you if you're interested.
That would be wonderful, thanks. Oh, did you hear about the new coffee shop opening nearby?
No, I didn't. Is it within walking distance from the office?
Yes, just 2 blocks away. We should check it out during lunch sometime.
Conversation 53. Networking event.
Listen and practice.
Hi there, I'm Lisa. What brings you to this event?
Nice to meet you, Lisa. I'm John. I'm here to learn about new trends in the industry. You?
Same here. What field are you in?
I'm in software development. How about you?
I work in marketing. Have you attended any interesting sessions today?
Yes, the one on AI was fascinating. Are you planning to go to the panel discussion later?
Absolutely, it sounds intriguing. Would you like to grab a coffee and chat more before it starts?
That sounds great. I'd love to hear more about your work in marketing.
Conversation 54. Team building activities.
Listen and practice.
What do you think about the company's plan for a team building retreat?
I'm excited about it. I think it'll be a great opportunity to get to know everyone better.
Me too. Do you have any idea what activities they're planning?
I heard there might be some problem-solving challenges and outdoor activities. What are you hoping for?
I'd love some group creativity exercises. Do you think it'll actually improve our teamwork?
I believe it will, if everyone participates fully. What do you think is the biggest challenge our team faces?
Sometimes communication breaks down between departments. Maybe the retreat can address that?
Good point. We should suggest that to the organizers. It could make a real difference.
Conversation 55. Career goals.
Listen and practice.
Where do you see yourself professionally in 5 years?
I'm aiming for a senior management position. How about you?
I'd like to start my own consultancy firm. What steps are you taking towards your goal?
I'm working on an MBA part-time. Are you doing anything specific to prepare for entrepreneurship?
Yes, I'm taking some business courses online. Do you think our current roles are helping us reach our goals?
Definitely. The leadership experience is invaluable. What skills do you think we need to develop further?
I think improving our public speaking would be beneficial. Any other areas you're focusing on?
Financial management is a big one for me. Maybe we could practice these skills together?
Conversation 56. Work-life balance.
Listen and practice.
How do you manage to balance your work and personal life?
It's a challenge, but I try to set clear boundaries. How about you?
I'm still struggling with it. Do you have any specific strategies that work for you?
I make sure to turn off email notifications after work hours. Have you tried that?
Not yet, but that's a good idea. How do you handle working overtime when necessary?
I try to compensate by taking time off later. Do you feel our company supports work-life balance?
They seem to, but I think there's room for improvement. Any suggestions on what they could do better?
Maybe offering more flexible work hours or remote work options could help.
Conversation 57. Social media usage.
Listen and practice.
How often do you use social media?
I check it a few times a day. How about you?
I'm trying to cut back, but it's hard. Which platforms do you use most?
Mainly Instagram and Twitter. Do you think social media affects your productivity?
Sometimes, especially when I'm procrastinating. How do you manage your time on social media?
I use app timers to limit my usage. Have you tried any digital detox methods?
Not really, but I'm interested. What benefits have you noticed from limiting your use?
I feel more present in real-life interactions. Maybe we could challenge each other to a week-long detox?
Conversation 58. Online dating.
Listen and practice.
Have you ever tried online dating?
Yes, I've used a few apps. How about you?
I've been considering it. What has your experience been like?
It's been mixed. Some good dates, some not so good. Which app are you thinking of trying?
I've heard good things about Bumble. Do you have any tips for creating a good profile?
Be honest and show your personality. Have you thought about what you're looking for in a match?
I'm looking for someone with similar interests and values. How do you usually start conversations on these apps?
I try to reference something in their profile. It shows I've paid attention. Want me to review your profile when you make one?
Conversation 59. Cultural differences.
Listen and practice.
Have you ever experienced culture shock while traveling?
Yes, when I visited Japan, the etiquette was so different. How about you?
I felt it in India. The crowded streets were overwhelming at first. What surprised you most in Japan?
The level of politeness and the complex social rules. What was your favorite part of Indian culture?
I loved the vibrant colors and the food. Do you think experiencing other cultures is important?
Absolutely. It broadens your perspective. How do you prepare for cultural differences when traveling?
I try to read about local customs beforehand. Have you ever had any cultural misunderstandings?
Once, I used the wrong hand gesture and offended someone. It taught me to be more careful.
Conversation 60. Learning a new language.
Listen and practice.
What language are you currently learning?
I'm studying Spanish. How about you?
I'm learning Japanese. What made you choose Spanish?
It's widely spoken and useful for travel. Why did you pick Japanese?
I'm fascinated by the culture and want to visit Japan. How are you practicing your Spanish?
I use language apps and watch Spanish TV shows. Any study methods you find particularly effective?
I've been doing language exchanges online. It really helps with conversation skills.
That's a great idea. Maybe we could practice our new languages together sometime?
Conversation 61. Book club discussion.
Listen and practice.
What did you think of this month's book choice?
I enjoyed it overall, but the ending felt rushed. What was your impression?
I agree about the ending. I love the character development though. Which character did you relate to most?
I connected with the protagonist's struggle. How about you?
I found the antagonist surprisingly sympathetic. What theme stood out to you?
The exploration of identity was fascinating. Did the book change your perspective on anything?
It made me reconsider my views on forgiveness. What rating would you give it out of 5?
I'd give it a 4. It was thought-provoking despite its flaws. Shall we suggest some options for next month?
Conversation 62. Movie review.
Listen and practice.
What did you think of the new superhero movie we watched last night?
The special effects were amazing, but the plot was a bit predictable. Your thoughts?
I agree about the effects. I actually liked the story, especially the villain's backstory.
That's true. The villain was well developed. How would you rate the acting performances?
The lead actor was great, but some supporting roles felt flat. What did you think of the soundtrack?
The music really enhanced the dramatic scenes. Do you think it lived up to the hype?
Not entirely, but it was entertaining. Would you recommend it to others?
Yes, for the visuals alone. It's worth seeing in the cinema. Shall we discuss the post-credit scene?
Conversation 63. TV show recommendations.
Listen and practice.
Have you been watching any good TV shows lately?
I just finished The Crown. It was fantastic. Have you seen it?
Not yet, but I've heard good things. What did you like about it?
The acting and historical details were impressive. What kind of shows do you usually enjoy?
I'm a big fan of sci-fi series. Have you watched The Expanse?
No, I haven't. What's it about?
It's a space epic with great world building. Shall we watch the first episode together sometime?
That sounds great. Maybe we can start a weekly TV night?
Conversation 64. Music preferences.
Listen and practice.
What kind of music do you usually listen to?
I'm into indie rock and folk. How about you?
I enjoy a mix of pop and R&B. Any favorite artists at the moment?
I've been listening to a lot of Bon Iver lately. Do you know them?
I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar with their music. Any song you'd recommend?
Try Holocene. It's beautiful. Do you use any music streaming services?
Yes, I use Spotify. It's great for discovering new artists. Have you been to any good concerts recently?
I saw Florence and the Machine last month. It was incredible. We should go to a show together sometime.
Conversation 65. Art gallery visit.
Listen and practice.
What do you think of this abstract painting?
It's intriguing. The use of color is striking. What's your interpretation?
I see a conflict between nature and technology. The brushstrokes seem very emotional to me.
Interesting perspective. I hadn't considered that. Which artwork has been your favorite so far?
I loved the sculpture in the previous room. The textures were amazing. How about you?
I'm drawn to the landscape paintings. Do you have a preferred art style?
I appreciate various styles, but I'm partial to Impressionism. Shall we check out the modern art section next?
Sounds good. I'm curious to see how it compares to these more traditional pieces.
Conversation 66. Museum tour.
Listen and practice.
This dinosaur exhibit is impressive, isn't it?
Absolutely. The size of these creatures is mind-boggling. Which period interests you most?
I'm fascinated by the Jurassic period. How about you?
I find the extinction theories intriguing. Have you seen the interactive displays?
Not yet. Are they worth checking out?
Definitely. They have a virtual reality experience of prehistoric environments.
That sounds amazing. Do you think we'll have time to see the gem and mineral exhibit too?
If we hurry, we should. I've heard their collection of meteorites is spectacular.
Conversation 67. Gardening tips.
Listen and practice.
How's your garden doing this year?
It's coming along nicely. My tomatoes are thriving. How about yours?
I'm having trouble with my roses. Any tips for dealing with aphids?
Neem oil works well for me. Have you tried companion planting?
Not yet. What plants work well together?
I plant marigolds near my vegetables to repel pests. What's your favorite thing to grow?
I love growing herbs. They're useful and smell great. Any plans to expand your garden?
I'm thinking of adding a small vegetable patch. Do you have any advice for a beginner?
Conversation 68. Pet care.
Listen and practice.
How's your new puppy settling in?
He's doing well, but still chewing everything. Any advice on training?
Consistency is key. Have you tried redirecting him to chew toys?
Yes, that seems to help. How often do you think I should walk him?
For a puppy, short, frequent walks are best. Have you started any obedience classes?
Not yet, but I'm looking into it. How do you manage when you're at work all day?
I have a dog walker come at lunchtime. Have you puppy-proofed your house?
Mostly, but he still finds new things to get into. It's like having a toddler.
Conversation 69. Volunteering opportunities.
Listen and practice.
I've been thinking about volunteering lately. Do you have any experience with it?
Yes, I volunteer at the local animal shelter. What kind of volunteering interests you?
I'm considering something related to environmental conservation. Any suggestions?
There's a group that does river cleanups monthly. Want me to introduce you?
That sounds perfect. How much time do you usually commit to volunteering?
I do about 4 hours a week. It's flexible though. Have you thought about the skills you could offer?
I'm good with organization and data analysis. How do you think that could be useful?
Those skills are always needed. You could help with event planning or tracking the impact of cleanups.
Conversation 70. Environmental issues.
Listen and practice.
What do you think is the most pressing environmental issue right now?
Climate change is at the top of my list. What about you?
I agree, but I'm also concerned about plastic pollution in oceans. What can we do on a personal level?
We could start by reducing our plastic use and carbon footprint. Have you tried any eco-friendly products lately?
Yes, I've switched to bamboo toothbrushes. Have you made any changes in your daily life?
I've started composting and using public transport more. Do you think individual actions make a difference?
Every little bit helps, but we need systemic change too. Should we organize a community cleanup?
That's a great idea. We could get our colleagues involved too.
Conversation 71. Technology trends.
Listen and practice.
What tech trend are you most excited about right now?
I'm fascinated by the potential of artificial intelligence. How about you?
I'm really interested in renewable energy technologies. Do you think AI will affect our jobs?
It's likely to change many industries. Have you considered learning any new tech skills?
I've been thinking about taking a coding course. What skills do you think will be most valuable in the future?
Data analysis and cybersecurity seem crucial. Are you worried about any aspects of advancing technology?
I'm concerned about privacy issues. How do you protect your personal data online?
I use a VPN and I'm careful about what I share on social media. Maybe we could attend a tech workshop together?
Conversation 72. Fitness goals.
Listen and practice.
What are your current fitness goals?
I'm training for a half marathon. How about you?
I'm focusing on strength training. How's your training going?
It's challenging but rewarding. Do you follow a specific program for strength training?
I use a fitness app for guidance. Have you ever used fitness trackers?
Yes, I find them motivating. What's been the biggest challenge in your fitness journey?
Staying consistent with my routine. How do you stay motivated?
I set small, achievable goals and reward myself. Want to be workout buddies?
Conversation 73. Healthy eating habits.
Listen and practice.
I'm trying to improve my eating habits. Any tips?
I've found meal prepping really helpful. What specific changes are you aiming for?
I want to incorporate more vegetables into my diet. Do you have any favorite healthy recipes?
I make a great kale and quinoa salad. Have you tried reducing processed foods?
I'm working on it, but it's challenging. How do you handle cravings for unhealthy snacks?
I keep healthy snacks readily available. Have you considered consulting a nutritionist?
Not yet, but that's a good idea. How has changing your diet impacted your energy levels?
I've noticed a significant improvement. Let's exchange some healthy recipes.
Conversation 74. Mental health awareness.
Listen and practice.
How do you prioritize your mental health?
I practice daily meditation. What methods work for you?
I find journaling very helpful. Have you ever tried therapy?
Yes, I found it beneficial. Do you think there's still stigma around mental health issues?
Unfortunately, yes. How can we help raise awareness?
We could share our experiences more openly. What do you think contributes most to good mental health?
I believe a support system is crucial. How do you maintain work-life balance for your mental well-being?
I set clear boundaries and make time for hobbies. Should we start a mental health support group at work?
Conversation 75. Stress management.
Listen and practice.
What's your go-to method for managing stress?
I find exercise really helps me de-stress. What works for you?
I use deep breathing techniques. Have you ever tried mindfulness apps?
Yes, I use one for guided meditations. How do you handle work-related stress?
I try to prioritize tasks and take short breaks. Do you think our workplace promotes stress management?
There's room for improvement. What changes would you suggest?
Maybe offering stress management workshops? How do you unwind after a stressful day?
I enjoy reading or taking a long walk. We should organize a stress relief activity for our team.
Conversation 76. Financial planning.
Listen and practice.
How do you approach financial planning?
I try to follow a monthly budget and save for retirement. What about you?
I'm working on building an emergency fund. Have you ever used any financial planning apps?
Yes, I find them helpful for tracking expenses. What's your biggest financial goal right now?
I'm saving for a down payment on a house. How do you balance saving and enjoying life now?
I allocate a portion of my income for fun money. Have you considered speaking with a financial advisor?
I've thought about it. Do you have any tips for reducing unnecessary expenses?
I review my subscriptions regularly and meal plan to reduce food waste. Want to have a monthly budget check-in?
Conversation 77. Budgeting tips.
Listen and practice.
What's your best budgeting tip?
I use the 50/30/20 rule. 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings. How do you budget?
I track every expense in a spreadsheet. Have you tried any budgeting apps?
Yes, I use Mint. It's great for categorizing expenses. How do you handle unexpected costs?
I have a separate miscellaneous fund. Do you find it hard to stick to your budget?
Sometimes, especially for social activities. How do you budget for holidays and gifts?
I save a little each month for those. Have you found any creative ways to save money?
I've started doing clothing swaps with friends. It's fun and saves money. We should share more money-saving ideas.
Conversation 78. Investment strategies.
Listen and practice.
How do you approach investing?
I focus on a diversified portfolio of index funds. What's your investment strategy?
I'm just starting out, mostly with low risk options. Have you invested in individual stocks?
A few, but I prefer funds for lower risk. What do you think about cryptocurrency investments?
They seem risky, but I'm curious. How do you stay informed about investment opportunities?
I follow financial news and blogs. Have you considered real estate investment?
I've thought about it. How do you decide how much to invest each month?
I automatically invest a fixed percentage of my income. Want to join an investment club together?
Conversation 79. Starting a business.
Listen and practice.
Have you ever thought about starting your own business?
Yes, I've been considering it. What kind of business interests you?
I'm thinking about a sustainable fashion brand. What's your business idea?
I've been exploring a tech startup in the education sector. What do you think is the biggest challenge in starting a business?
Probably securing initial funding. Have you looked into any small business loans or grants?
Not yet, but that's a good suggestion. How would you go about market research for your idea?
I'd start with surveys and focus groups. Have you considered taking any business courses?
That's a great idea. Maybe we could take an online entrepreneurship course together?
Conversation 80. Entrepreneurship.
Listen and practice.
What traits do you think are essential for an entrepreneur?
I'd say resilience and adaptability are crucial. What do you think?
I agree, and I'd add creativity and risk-taking. Have you met any inspiring entrepreneurs?
Yes, I attended a startup conference last month. What area of entrepreneurship interests you most?
I'm fascinated by social entrepreneurship. How about you?
I'm drawn to tech entrepreneurship. What do you think is the biggest misconception about being an entrepreneur?
Perhaps that it's an easy way to get rich quick. How would you balance business and personal life as an entrepreneur?
That's a challenge. Maybe by setting clear boundaries and delegating tasks. Want to attend an entrepreneurship workshop together?
Conversation 81. Home renovation.
Listen and practice.
Are you planning any home renovation projects?
Yes, I'm thinking of redoing my kitchen. How about you?
I want to create a home office space. Have you done any renovations before?
I remodeled my bathroom last year. What's your biggest concern about renovating?
Probably staying within budget. How did you manage costs in your bathroom project?
I got multiple quotes and did some work myself. Have you considered the return on investment for your kitchen renovation?
That's a good point. How do you find reliable contractors?
I ask for recommendations and check online reviews. Want to visit a home improvement store together for ideas?
Conversation 82. Interior design.
Listen and practice.
How would you describe your interior design style?
I lean towards a minimalist, modern look. What's your preferred style?
I love a cozy, rustic feel. Have you ever worked with an interior designer?
No, but I've considered it. Where do you get your interior design inspiration?
Mostly from home decor magazines and Pinterest. How often do you change your home decor?
I like to make small changes seasonally. What's your favorite room in your home?
My living room, it's where I relax. How do you choose color schemes for your spaces?
I usually start with a key piece and build around it. Want to go furniture shopping together sometime?
Conversation 83. Fashion trends.
Listen and practice.
What do you think about current fashion trends?
I try to focus on timeless pieces rather than trends. How about you?
I enjoy experimenting with trends but also have staple items. What's your go-to outfit?
Usually jeans and a well-fitted t-shirt. How do you decide what to buy when shopping?
I consider versatility and quality. Have you tried any sustainable fashion brands?
Yes, I'm trying to shop more ethically. How do you stay updated on fashion trends?
I follow fashion influencers on Instagram. Do you think fashion is important in professional settings?
It can make a good impression, but skills matter more. Want to check out that new boutique downtown?
Conversation 84. Beauty tips.
Listen and practice.
I've been trying to improve my beauty routine lately.
That's interesting. What kind of changes are you making?
I'm focusing on natural ingredients. Do you have any skincare tips?
I just try to stay hydrated. What natural ingredients are you using?
I've been using honey as a face mask. Have you ever tried any DIY beauty treatments?
Not really, but I'm curious. How effective is the honey mask?
It's made my skin feel softer. Would you like to try a homemade scrub sometime?
Sure, that could be fun. Maybe you could show me how to make one.
Conversation 85. Skincare routine.
Listen and practice.
My skin has been acting up recently.
Sorry to hear that. Have you changed anything in your routine?
I switched to a new cleanser. What's your skincare routine like?
I just use soap and water. Is that bad?
It depends on your skin type. Have you ever considered using a moisturizer?
Not really. Do you think it would help?
It could prevent dryness. Want to go shopping for skincare products together?
That might be helpful. You seem to know a lot about this stuff.
Conversation 86. Hair care advice.
Listen and practice.
I'm thinking of changing my hairstyle.
That sounds exciting. What style are you considering?
Maybe some highlights. Do you ever experiment with your hair?
Not much. I usually keep it simple. What made you want to change?
I feel like I need a fresh look. How often do you get your hair cut?
Every couple of months. Have you considered any other colors?
I thought about going blonde. What do you think would suit me?
I think you'd look great as a blonde, but your natural color is nice too.
Conversation 87. Makeup techniques.
Listen and practice.
I've been watching makeup tutorials online.
That's cool. Have you learned any interesting techniques?
I'm practicing contouring. Do you have any opinion on makeup?
I appreciate it as an art form. What's the most challenging part of makeup for you?
Probably getting eyeliner even on both eyes. Do you think there's pressure on women to wear makeup?
It seems like there is, but I think it should be a personal choice. Have you tried any bold looks?
Not yet, but I want to experiment with bright eyeshadows. Would you notice if someone was wearing subtle makeup?
Probably not, unless I was specifically looking for it. It's impressive how natural it can look.
Conversation 88. DIY projects.
Listen and practice.
I started a DIY project to upcycle old furniture.
That sounds interesting. What are you working on?
I'm turning an old ladder into a bookshelf. Have you ever done any DIY?
I've done some basic home repairs. Where did you get the idea for your project?
I saw it on a crafting blog. Do you think DIY is cost-effective?
It can be, plus it's satisfying to create something yourself. What tools are you using?
Mostly just sandpaper and paint so far. Would you like to help me with the next stage?
Sure, I'd be happy to. It sounds like a fun project.
Conversation 89. Craft ideas.
Listen and practice.
I've been getting into crafting as a hobby.
That's great. What kind of crafts do you enjoy?
I love knitting and want to try pottery. Do you have any creative hobbies?
I used to do some woodworking. What do you like about knitting?
It's relaxing and I can make useful items. Have you ever thought about selling your creations?
I hadn't considered it. Do you sell your knitted items?
Not yet, but I'm thinking about it. Want to attend a craft fair together sometime?
That could be fun. It might give us both some new ideas.
Conversation 90. Photography tips.
Listen and practice.
I'm trying to improve my photography skills.
That's a great hobby. What kind of photos do you like to take?
Mostly landscapes and nature shots. Do you have any experience with photography?
A little. I enjoy taking street photos. What camera do you use?
I use my smartphone, but I'm considering buying a DSLR. Any advice on camera selection?
It depends on your needs. Have you thought about taking a photography class?
That's a good idea. Do you know of any local classes or workshops?
There's a camera club that meets at the community center. Want to check it out together?
Conversation 91. Video game discussion.
Listen and practice.
I just started playing this new RPG game.
Oh, cool. Which one? I've been gaming a lot lately, too.
It's called Eternal Quest. What games are you into?
I'm more into strategy games. What do you like about RPGs?
I love the storytelling and character development. Have you ever tried an RPG?
A few times, but I find them time-consuming. What's the storyline of Eternal Quest?
It's about a hero trying to save a dying world. Want to watch me play sometime?
Sure, that could be fun. Maybe you can show me why you enjoy them so much.
Conversation 92. Board game night.
Listen and practice.
I'm planning a board game night this weekend.
That sounds fun. What games are you thinking of playing?
I was thinking Caton or Ticket to Ride. Do you have any favorites?
I really enjoy Pandemic. How many people are you inviting?
Just a small group, maybe 4 to 6 people. Would you like to join us?
I'd love to. Should I bring any snacks or drinks?
That would be great. Do you think we should have a tournament-style game night?
That could be exciting. Maybe we could have small prizes for the winners?
Conversation 93. Outdoor activities.
Listen and practice.
The weather's been great for outdoor activities lately.
It really has. Have you been doing anything outdoors?
I've been going for bike rides. What about you?
I've been trying to go hiking more. Where do you usually cycle?
There's a nice trail along the river. Have you explored any good hiking spots?
There's a great trail in the state park nearby. Would you be interested in a hike sometime?
That sounds wonderful. Should we plan a group outing?
Great idea. We could make it a whole day trip with a picnic.
Conversation 94. Camping experience.
Listen and practice.
I'm planning my first camping trip next month.
That's exciting. Where are you planning to go?
There's a campground in the mountains nearby. Have you been camping before?
Many times. It's a great way to connect with nature. What gear have you got so far?
Just a tent and sleeping bag. What else do you think I need?
A good cooler is essential, and don't forget a first aid kit. Are you going alone or with a group?
I'm going with a few friends. Any tips for first-time campers?
Always check the weather forecast and leave no trace. Want to borrow some of my camping equipment?
Conversation 95. Hiking adventures.
Listen and practice.
I discovered a new hiking trail last weekend.
That's great. Where is it located?
It's in the national forest, about an hour's drive. Do you hike often?
I try to go once a month. What's the difficulty level of this new trail?
It's moderate with some steep sections. What's the most challenging hike you've done?
Probably a 3-day trek in the mountains. Have you ever considered a long-distance hike?
I'd love to try one. Do you think we could plan a group hiking trip?
Absolutely. It would be fun to explore a new trail together.
Conversation 96. Beach day plans.
Listen and practice.
I'm thinking of organizing a beach day next week.
That sounds like a great idea. Which beach were you considering?
I was thinking about Shell Beach. Have you been there?
Yes, it's lovely. What activities are you planning?
Definitely swimming, maybe some beach volleyball. Do you have any beach day essentials?
Sunscreen is a must, and I always bring a good book. Should we make it a potluck?
That's a great idea. What dish would you like to bring?
I make a mean potato salad. Shall I bring that?
Conversation 97. City exploration.
Listen and practice.
I want to explore more of our city this weekend.
That's a great idea. Any specific areas you want to check out?
I heard the old town has some interesting architecture. Do you have any favorite spots in the city?
I love the art district. Have you been to the new rooftop garden?
Not yet, but it sounds lovely. Do you prefer guided tours or exploring on your own?
I like to wander and discover things myself. How about we explore the old town together?
That would be fun. Should we make a list of places to see?
Good idea. We could include some local cafes for breaks too.
Conversation 98. Historical landmarks.
Listen and practice.
I visited the old clock tower yesterday.
That's a great landmark. What did you think of it?
The view from the top was amazing. Have you been to any historical sites recently?
I went to the ancient ruins outside the city last month. Do you have a favorite historical period?
I'm fascinated by the Renaissance. What about the ruins impressed you most?
The scale of the architecture was incredible. Would you be interested in a historical walking tour?
That sounds fascinating. Do you know if they offer those in our city?
Yes, there's one that covers the medieval quarter. Shall we book it for next weekend?
Conversation 99. Local cuisine.
Listen and practice.
I tried a new local restaurant last night.
How was it? I'm always looking for good local spots.
The food was delicious, very authentic. Do you have a favorite local dish?
I love the regional dumplings. What did you order at the new place?
I had their specialty stew. Have you ever tried cooking local dishes at home?
A few times, with mixed results. Would you be interested in a local cooking class?
That's a great idea. Do you know of any good ones?
There's one at the community center. Want to sign up together?
Conversation 100. International festivals.
Listen and practice.
There's an international culture festival happening next month.
That sounds interesting. Do you know which cultures will be represented?
I heard there will be food and performances from at least 10 countries. Have you been to any international festivals before?
Yes, I went to a great one last year. What are you most excited to see at this festival?
I'm looking forward to trying different cuisines. Do you have a favorite international cuisine?
I love Thai food. Are there any particular performances you want to see?
I'm curious about the traditional dance shows. Want to go to the festival together?
Definitely. We should make a day of it and try to see as much as possible.